What's up, YouTube? So here I am starting over again. Um, and yep, I'm smoking a cigarette. Not chain smoking it though, just smoking a cigarette. So some people had asked me about my relationship with Mike and my ex Mike, like, and about how that went when I was down there with him. And so I figured that I would just talk about, like, first, how it was in the beginning. So, and then I could talk about, you know, after things got rough, in another second part. So, okay, so when I first met Mike, I I've been hanging out with my stepdad a lot, and he had suggested saying that I don't ever get out of the house. So he said to me, you should get out of the house. And so there was a Dearborn homecoming, and so I rode my little pedal bike, and I was also taking a call from my friend who was in prison. And I actually kind of had a little crush on the guy, but he told me that I was just not the right body style for him. And so, like, really, motherfucker, I've helped you so much, and you wanna whatever. Anyways, but he still relied on me to fucking answer his calls all the time, put money on his stuff, and talk to his family. So that's what I was doing when I was stopped at the parking structure. And here comes this group of guys. I just hung up the phone with my friend James in prison. And here comes this group of guys walking up, and most of them, they just really weren't really paying attention to me. But one of the guys, his name was Chris, and he said, hey, just said hey to me and whatever, asked what I was doing. I said I was going down there to the homecoming thing, and he said they were too, and wanted me to come with them. So I did. Okay. And Mike was with them, and his brother BJ Will, and I wasn't even really paying attention to those two guys. I was just talking to Chris. He was really friendly and super nice, and he was attractive guy, and whatever. So we all went down to the homecoming, and then there was like some fireworks. So we were all sitting at the picnic table waiting for the fireworks to start. And Mike actually got up and left, and went to go get their cousin, Joshua. Yep, it was Joshua. And so then he came back with Joshua, and the fireworks, I was actually talking to Will. It was kind of cool. Will was a pretty cool guy. I think they already been drinking, so then they wanted to go to the bar. They want to go to the bar after the fireworks are done. So all of us go. So that's BJ, me, Mike, Jason, Joshua, and Chris. So we all go to the bar. And within like the first few minutes of us getting there, so Chris is already drunk and starts acting like belligerent. They get their alcohol, and then BJ spills beer all over the table, and then he has to clean that up. And then Chris was like getting upset because they weren't helping them clean it up, and then he was just making a fool of himself, And so then so all this is going on, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm looking at Mike, and he's just like looking at these guys like, what the hell are they even doing? Just watching them, just thinking it's funny. And so then we kind of start talking, and then he says to me, I bet you want to leave these guys and come with me, huh? And I was just like, well, yeah, I do, I don't know. It's just like, such a line, whatever, but it got me. And so let me see if I can see my face here. So yeah, so that's how I met him, and we left together, and we started walking back to their vehicle, and no, maybe they didn't have a vehicle. He didn't have a vehicle there. We started walking because Joshua had a vehicle, and he was actually robbing somebody's house and taking a bunch of the stuff and throwing it in the back of his car and asking me and Mike to help him put the shit in the back of the car. So we're just like putting it all in there and whatever. Then we get in the car and we drive off and we go back to BJ and Mike's house. And I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, your cousin's a criminal, you know? Like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, he's like, he does this shit all the time. I'm like, okay, so, so anyways, we go back to, their house, and then I think we probably didn't really stay up very much longer after that, because it was pretty late by that time, and, he was tired, and he had to go to work, so we basically just, like, laid down and went to sleep, and he put his big ass arm over me and just wanted to sleep with me, and I expected like that we were going to have sex or something, because you know I was thinking that that was going to happen, but he didn't want to. He just wanted to like cuddle or whatever. So I was like, wow, this is really different, you know. And so then I just fell asleep, and when we woke up, then we did have sex, and I was just getting off my my monthly, and so then, but I didn't like have, you know, I didn't tell him, and so I thought that was done, but he then said to me when he was driving me home, or he was driving me back to my bike, that, you know, you had you must be starting your period or something, you know. And I'm like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, you know, like, oh no. And I felt so freaking so self-conscious and like, what the fuck, you know, like, I can't believe that happened. I didn't know that was gonna happen. Okay, so I thought it was done. I didn't tell him though. I didn't tell him that I knew that I was on my period and I was done. That I knew that I was done, because I thought I was done. So I didn't think I was starting. So anyways, then he says he has to go to work or whatever, but that he would help me get a bag for my mom if I needed to. So I took his number, and then the next day was my Uncle Dwayne's funeral, I believe. And so then my mom, you know, she picked me up from Michael's house. I went, you know, went back home to my stepdad's house, and then we went to my Uncle Dwayne's, you know, memorial or funeral or whatever, and then we were coming back, and I told her, like, this guy says he gets you a bag, because she's been wanting one, and she was downstate and didn't know anybody down there. So I was like, okay, well, there's this guy, it's nice, he's really cool, you know, whatever. And so then we got in touch with him, and we went over to his house, and we were like in his garage, and DJ was there, and maybe his cousin was there too, and they we gave him some money, and then we hung around and waited, and his friend ended up coming and bringing it to him, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome, you know, like, they just deliver it to you. I didn't even know about it then, you know. And so then that was it. Then my mom gave me some of that, and she left me there, and I stayed there at his house, and I stayed there with him, you know, for the next 2 weeks, basically. I mean, I never left his side. I mean, he went to work and stuff, and, you know, did all that, but I stayed there at the house, and I hung out with the kids, and I straightened up the place, and, you know, I basically just took to it right away. And then, you know, sometimes he would be kind of rude to me, and it was only 2 weeks, right? It was really like literally 2 weeks that we had been dating, and he sometimes he would be rude, and I wouldn't really know what was going on. I didn't really have any clue about anything, really. You know, I just would smoke weed with the kids. They were teenagers or whatever. You know, I hung out with the teenagers. I hung out with one more than the other. And so they were cool. And BJ was fine with me being there. And everything was fun. And so then, during the course of this 2 weeks, my stepdad was getting jealous because I was not spending time with him anymore. And I think that I already said that before, that he was upset about me hanging out with Mike, and he came over there on Mike's birthday and picked me up and wanted me to leave with him. And I didn't really see anything wrong with Mike at all. And my stepdad thought there was something wrong with him. I didn't see that. So he was jealous, and that's when actually, then I never went back home. I think I went there like once or twice. I was actually going to bartending school at the time, and my mom's boyfriend had been paying for me to go to Detroit Casino and Bartending Academy or whatever. And so I had a cab driver that came pick me up every day, and a personalized cab driver. And I was on top of my game and shit, And some of those pictures, like the picture where I'm standing on the stairs, I was actually at the Detroit Institute for Art or whatever, and the cab driver and me had gone there together because he was done with class or something had happened. That was an early day, and my mom's boyfriend had given the cab driver some money to give to me, and so we just went around and hung out, and then whatever. So when my stepdad texted me that he was going out of town and that I had to come there, alone that night. Geez, I don't know who's trying to get a hold of me. Anyways, then Mike said to me he didn't think that was good. He said that the text sounded weird. He didn't want me to even go over there or have anything to do with that guy. I had already told him, and I think I maybe had brought him to my stepdad's house when my stepdad was gone to show him, like all the fucking bondage stuff and the cage and the coffin and the fucking whips and the chains and the fucking, floggers and, just all the stuff, that my stepdad's house, contained right there up in the living room and the little back bedroom area. I mean, the fucking place was set up to be a fully functional play dungeon. That's his whole upstairs. So, so Mike was like, he didn't want anything to do with that guy. And so that's what happened. So when my mom's boyfriend asked me, didn't I know some criminals? Well, of course I knew Joshua. He was a fucking criminal right there. Boom, right there. I said, right here in the house, I got one. Got somebody, and that's Mike's cousin. And so then that's we went there, and he helped me break, he crowbarred the door open so that we could get inside. And I feel like he was in the heat of the moment, B&E, and because already I knew the kind of person that he was, I should have known, because when I first met him, that first day, he was stealing some shit from somebody, so I should have known. But after that, Mike did not want to have anything to do with me. And he said, I said I was going back to Escoda. I said, can I leave some stuff here at your house? He said, sure, that's fine. But he didn't really want to talk to me anymore. And he thought I was just so fucking stupid for letting his cousin do that. He was so upset at me for going through with it. He was just really mad. And so that's that. And then I came back to Escoda. And that is the beginning of the end of that.